Hey guys, welcome to Let's Play Mountain Blade Warband. I'm Nye, and I've spent way too many hours in this game. We're going to play a game where we're going to be able to start as little more than a little trifling nothing. We're going to play as probably a thief or commoner of some sort, gradually building themselves a mercenary army, gathering people to their cause, exploring a gigantic world where you will go beat the ever-loving crap out of other armies in the Middle Ages, sieging towers, helping out towns, and gradually making something of yourself, or not, depending on how good you are at the game. I'm not, so chances are I'm not going anywhere. So welcome, adventurer, to Mountain Blade Warband. Before the beginning of the game, you must create your character. Remember that the traditional medieval society depicted in the game, war and politics are usually dominated by male members of nobility. That does not, however, mean that you should not choose to play a female character or one that is not of noble birth. Male nobles may have a somewhat easier start, but women and commoners can attain all the same goals and, in fact, may have a much more interesting, if challenging, early game. As such, we're going to go ahead and play a female character because I like having challenging early games. So, you were born years ago in a land far, far away, a long, long time ago. Your father was, we got a bunch of options. Me, I'm just going to go with a thief. As the daughter of a thief, you have very little formal education. Instead, you were out on the street begging until you learned how to cut purses, cutting purses until you learned how to pick locks, all the way through your childhood. Still, these long years made you streetwise and sharp to the secrets of cities and shadowy backways. You started to learn about the world almost as soon as you could walk and talk, and you spent your early life as... Got a lot of options here. Most of this stuff builds into what our starting stats are and what our starting abilities are going to be. I'm gonna go with a street urchin, just continue the trend. As a girl growing out of childhood, you took to the streets, doing whatever you must to survive, begging, thieving, and working for gangs to earn your bread. You lived from day to day in this violent world, always one step ahead of the law and those who wished you ill. Then as a young adult, life changed as it always does, and you became a what? You know what, we're gonna go ahead and do a troubadour, why not? Though the distinction felt sudden to you, somewhere along the way you'd become a woman, and the whole world seemed to change around you. How lucky to be, Anyways, you set out on your own with nothing except the instrument slung over your back and your own voice. It was a poor existence with many a hungry night when people failed to appreciate your play, but you managed to survive on your music alone. As the years went by, you became adept at playing the drunken crowds in your taverns and even better at talking anyone out of anything you wanted. But soon everything changed. You decided to strike out on your own as an adventurer. What made you take this decision That's a very good question. What would make us become an adventurer? We're a troubadour. We already have adventure. I mean, things always happen to those guys, right? I think that we're going to have to do Wanderlust. Only you know exactly what caused you to give up your old life and become an adventurer. You're not even sure when your home became a prison and when the familiar became mundane, but your dreams of wandering have taken over your life. Whether you yearn for some faraway place or merely for the open road and the freedom to travel, you could no longer bear to stay in the same place. You simply went and never looked back. Let's become an adventurer and ride to our destiny. Okay, so the question is, what will the game's saving policy going to be? I'm going to go with realistic because, frankly, you guys are watching everything I'm doing. So it's not as if I can actually cheat here, can I? We're going to go ahead and choose Nye as the name, and now I have a couple of choices I'm going to make. So, my starting attributes on the left-hand side, strength, agility, intelligence, charisma, very obvious starting things for an RPG-like game. The reason why these are important is they do stuff in and of themselves. Yeah, strength gives you +1 to hit points, agility gives you 5 weapon points per agility and slightly increased movement speed. Intelligence gives you an extra skill point each and every one. It's not direct past that, though. Intelligence doesn't directly affect that, but for your starting one, if you really want a lot of skill points, it's the way to go. And charisma, each point increases your party size limit by 1 directly. The reason why attributes are important is not just because of those direct bonuses, but also because every one of these skills over here is a governing attribute. This may be very obvious to, some of you guys, especially people who, play RPGs in general. But stuff like Iron Flesh, which is HP, Power Strike, Throw, and Draw are all based on weapons. You can kind of guess what they are. Weapon Master increases your ability to gain skill points. You've got Shields, which is your shield skill. Athletics is your movement speed. Riding is your ability to ride a horse and better horses. Horse Archery is the ability to shoot while you're on a horse. Looting is going to be how much loot you actually get. That's kind of obvious. Trainer is how much experience you train as a passive thing. Tracking lets you see where tracks are, obviously. Tactics, increase your ability... Well, it's Battle Advantage, I'll get into that. Pathfinding is just how fast you can move across the world map. Spotting is how far away you can see other units. Inventory management, how many items you can hold. Wound treatment increases your party's healing speed. Surgery gives you an X% chance that a person in your party will be wounded rather than killed when they're struck a mortal blow. First aid, heroes regain X amount of skill points per skill level of hit points lost during a mission. I'm not sure exactly how that one works. Engineer lets you construct siege equipment more quickly. Persuasion directly influences how quickly you can and how easily you can convince people to do things you want. Prisoner management increases the amount of prisoners you're allowed to keep. Leadership will allow you to carry more guys in your party and reduce your wages by about 5% each. And lastly, trade decreases the trade penalty. Now, each one of these actually is governed by one of the attributes on the left. Strength is everything down to here, I believe. Weapon master through, I think, looting is agility. Trainer all the way down to engineer. That's all intelligence, which is a lot. And lastly, persuasion down to trade is all charisma. We can only build up the skill points up to 1/3 of our actual attribute points. That's why attributes are very, very important. Now, I consider it equally important to have intelligence and charisma. I'm not really caring too much about agility or strength because I'm the leader of a mercenary pack, not necessarily just the main foot soldier. So it's more important to me that I have people I can rely on to get crap done. So what I'm going to do, we've got 8 skill points to play with. Well, I definitely want to have a lot of men in my command. So I'm going to be able to have at least 9 plus 15, so at least 24 men at my command, plus whatever my base amount is, which I forget if that's like 10, 15, whatever the case may be. But I'm going to be able to have a lot of men at my command, so that's going to be very important to me. It's also very important to me to have persuasion, but that's intelligence-based, so I can't go any higher than that, which sucks, but, you know, we'll do that. I want to have some prisoners. I only need to be able to have 5 at least, so that's cool. I'm okay with that. Let's go ahead and increase our training. It's very helpful. I also want to have tactics leveled up. And let's do surgery. Why not? So give us a little bit of everything. I don't like the fact that we have power throw because I don't like throwing weapons. I actually want crossbows, which actually don't use any of the power things. So we're going to be going into that. Now, I have plenty of abilities, and these are our proficiencies, and they decide exactly how much damage we actually do with our various items. And then when it comes to things like archery, crossbows, and throwing, that decides our accuracy as well. I'm actually going to ignore throwing and instead go into crossbows. And I forget at what point. Sometimes weapon points give you 2 for 1 point, 3 points for 1 point, and later on it'll be like maybe 1 pole arms point for 3 weapon points, something like that. So that's that. So we have our character here. I like our character. Now we get to adjust the character's face. This doesn't really matter, unfortunately. It's not, this isn't done amazingly well, unfortunately. But we're going to go ahead and pick our character. I like that one. Cool. Let's make us a youngin' with blue hair. I like that. That's wonderful. Not going to mess with any of this because, frankly, I don't care. We're not going to see our face much anyways. And we're done. Okay, so now we have an option to where to go. You hear about Calradia, a land torn between rival kingdoms battling each other for supremacy, a haven for knights and mercenaries, cutthroats and adventurers, all willing to risk their lives in pursuit of fortune, power, or glory. In this land, which holds great dangers and even greater opportunities, you believe that you may leave your past behind, so why did we actually set that up in the first place, and start a new life. You feel that finally you hold the key of your destiny in your hands, free to choose as you will, and that whatever course you take, great adventures will await you. Drawn by the stories you hear about Calradia and its kingdoms, you decide where you want to go. So we got a bunch of different kingdoms here, and each kingdom has a different style to it. Mostly based off of countries in the Europe area. Europe, I think Northern Africa as well. So we have the King of Swadia is basically England, and they are very, very good with knights. If we go to the Kingdom of the Vagars, I believe I haven't been able to figure out exactly where these guys are supposed to be because they're not Nordic. They're primarily archers, and they tend to be they're very good at archery, and I'm just not sure exactly where they're supposed to be from in general. The Kyrgyz Khanate are definitely from the steppe, so they're going to be basically your Mongol warriors, your Huns, that sort of area. very, very good at riding. So anything mounted is what they want to do. The kingdoms of the Nords are, you know, definitely from places like Iceland, Sweden, that general area. They're mostly Vikings. I mean, that's the joke with them. They have really good foot soldiers in general. The Rhodoks, I haven't been able to nail down where they're really supposed to be from either. They seem kind of generally European, like what Americans tend to think Europe is. Oh, you guys, yeah, that. They're very good with crossbows. And the Saranid Sultanate is your typical, like, Arabic, Middle Eastern thing, you know, sheiks and the like. They tend to do well with foot soldiers, as I recall. But I'm going to stop embarrassing myself with really bad geography and such like that. Instead, we're going to choose. I'm going to go with Swadia, because I actually like the Swadian Knights, and I want to have them as soon as I can. You came by caravan through the heartland of Calradia. Green shoots of wheat, barley, and oats are beginning to push through the dark soil of the rolling hills, and on the lower steps of the snow-capped mountains, slopes, not steps, herds of cattle and sheep are grazing on the spring grass. Occasionally, too, you catch the sight of one of the great war horses that are the pride of the Swadian nobility. The land here is rich, but also troubled, as the occasional burnt-out farm bears witness. You keep a wide berth of the forest where the desperate men have taken refuge, and it is some relief when you crest a ridge and catch sight of the great port of Praven, its rooftops made golden with the last rays of the setting sun. And now, 11 minutes into the first episode, we are about to start the actual game, but we are exhausted by the time we find the inn in Praven and fall asleep quickly. However, you wake before dawn and are eager to explore your surroundings. You venture out into the streets, which are still deserted. All of a sudden, you hear a sound that stands the hairs of your neck on end. The rasp of a blade sliding from its scabbard. And thus the game just kind of throws us into our first combat. Do I have anything but throwing knives? No. That's bad. So I'm about to be attacked. This happens every time you first start a game of Mount & Blade Warband. It's typically just a couple of thieves, which will come out right from there. There they are. Hi. Can I hit you? No? There we go. So the problem is, all I have is throwing knives, and he has more than throwing knives. Throwing knives are not my favorite weapon. Can I pick up his thing? Yes. Let's go. Oh, what is it? Is it F? There it is. It's F. Let's pick up a spiked mace. Okay. And here's a dude. This dude is actually not a bandit. He's the Merchant of Praven. No, this is not a Shakespearean play. Asking if we're all right, saying we're alive. He's going to tell us stuff. We go back to his house, and this quest is annoying, and you gotta do it. So there's a lot of brigands, blah, blah, blah. They're causing problems, yada, yada, yada. His brother has been taken last week, and he wants us to help him out finding his brother. But he is simply a merchant. He can't really do anything, but he is going to pay us to go get his brother back with the last of his earnings. We're going to say we're definitely interested because it gives us, it's not only the tutorial mode, but it also gives you a little bit of money to start collecting your first army. At any point when we're inside of a city, we can press tab and leave, and now here is us on our horse with no troops to our name. Now we must go and collect people. So we're going to go over here to Vader. Yes, I'm aware. Lord Vader. Maybe it's Vadar. I'm not quite sure. We're going to go over here, though. And what we're going to do is we're going to recruit volunteers. And immediately, 5 Swadian recruits volunteer to follow you. We only needed 5 to begin with, but I like to give myself a little bit more of a guarantee of success. So instead of just stopping there and going with my 5 troops, I'm going to run over to Linda over here, or Ayinda, I'm not quite sure again. And we're going to go ahead and collect a couple more, or at least I hope so. They don't necessarily always agree with me. Recruit, only 1. Is 6 men going to be enough? Let's just go over here to Asgad, and we'll go ahead and check that out. So, by zooming out here, you can kind of see the lay of the land. Everything in orange here is owned by the Kingdom of Swadia. Can I... damn. Oh, there we go. These are the Rhodoks. Up here in blue are the Nords. The Vagars are these ones in white. Over here in the purple is the Kurgat Karnat. And down here in the desert is the Sultanate. So that's where everything is. We're going to be working with Swadia. And let's go to Asgad. Where am I? If I remember correctly, it's shift click? No, shift space click? No. Space click? No. There's a certain button I gotta remember which lets you speed up movement, because otherwise movement's gonna take a long time. Time does pass as we move. And so now we are in Nightfall. I would rather not have our first fight be at night, because it's kind of hard to see. So hopefully we will not have to deal with that. We're just gonna go into Asgad, recruit some volunteers. I guess we're gonna have to deal with, and we will go back to Praven. Luckily, while the army... Let's see, what does our inventory look like while I'm about to say this? I'm going to put a hunting crossbow into my inventory. We got some fish, so we can actually feed our army. I also have some throwing knives that I don't care about. I have a sword, which I do care about. And we also have a hunting crossbow, which is fantastic because, as I said, I like using a crossbow. We're going to go back to Praven here, and we're going to go to the tavern. Here's our tavern, and Merchant Swadia is over here. Let's go talk to him. Merchant of Praven. Let him know that we're going to hunt for bandits, and we will go and find out where the bandits are held. While we're here, let's just see if there's anything interesting. So there's some caravan guards over here. If I had the money, I could actually talk to them and hire them, potentially, but I don't have the money for that. Okay, so we're here at Praven. Right here are some looters. Now, there's 8 of them. I only have 8 men myself. It's a fairly fair fight, actually. But I don't really want to fight them. I want to fight these guys in blue, because they're the actual robbers I need to talk to in order to get something done. So they want to know what we want. We're the aggressors here, so we could just leave in peace, but we actually need to know where they keep their prisoners. So we need to fight them. Now, once we get engaged in combat, I got a couple options. I could order my troops to attack without you, but they take a lack of leadership detriment, basically. They don't like that. So I'm going to go ahead and charge the enemy with them. Now, is this Nightfall? I did say I didn't want to do this. So here is our thing. No, I do not want to retreat. I want the tilde button. Is it tilde? No, it's not. There's a certain button which gives me an awesome overlay, which I'm looking for. That's command line. That's definitely not something I want. That's the options menu. Also not something I want. Well, we'll find out. These are my men, by the way. The ones highlighted in green who are just kind of walking very, very slowly. This is the maps are somewhat randomly generated when you go into combat. So we're in a somewhat randomly generated combat map. And my men here are trying to find the enemy. They're going to naturally seek out the enemy. So what I'm trying to do is find high ground on my horse here, which is a little bit slower than people do up hills. Try to find the enemy who is going to be rushing us. There they are. See them down there? All the way down there? Let's see, how do I... That's not right. That's not right. Oh, we'll figure it out. Okay, so there's the men down there. Now, I have a crossbow. Now, I have to load it between each shot, but I get maximum damage and maximum accuracy, even though I'm not, I'm holding it too long. With a bow, for example, looks like we won. Did we win? I think we won just now. Yep, the guys are lifting their weapons and cheer, and it says battle won. Bows, you have to draw back, and your accuracy gets lost as you hold it. The good news about that, though, is that it does more damage than my crossbow does. So they want to be spared. They'll let me know where this guy is, yada, 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 and our quest log has been updated. Okay, so we have a captured looter. Let's keep him. We can sell him to slavers later on and make some money. Yeah, it's not amazing when it comes to the whole morality thing, but I'll deal with it. The plus next to the name of these swatting recruits mean they can be upgraded to something a little bit more useful. The problem is, damn, I don't think there's the button for this. The problem with that is they're not, let's go ahead and use that. Give me a little bit of head armor. 10 armor. Nah, my stuff's better. The problem with the whole upgrading these guys thing is that they cost more when I upgrade them. Okay, so that's the kidnapper's hideout over there. I'm trying to avoid these looters over here. Let's see, we're all good to go, so we'll go to the kidnapper's hideout. Yeah, the problem is that they cost more per day, and we don't have a steady income, so we're going to kind of wait on that. We're going to go ahead and attack the hideout. This time we're going to be on foot, and we can only have a certain amount of guys with us. I think this is our total. We actually got a fair amount of people with us. We got 6 out of our 8, which is not bad. So we're just going to go and try to hunt down the enemy. They'll be around here somewhere. There's one up there. Let's see if I can nail him. I used to be pretty good at this, but obviously not now. There's a way I can, is it that button? No, that button. There we go. There's actually a zoom button, I think, but I like being in first-person mode when I'm using the crossbow. I get to feel like a sniper. Okay, let's see. Can I hit you, please? Yes, there we go. So, weapons level up and skills level, well, weapons specifically. Yeah, don't hit me. Weapons level up kind of in a Elder Scrolls kind of way. The more you use them, the more they level up, but you can also level them up in the level up screens. Remember, because I'm using a crossbow, I have to load it each time, and that takes some time. And this game, when it comes to shots, will also keep track of how hard the shot was. If the shot's harder, it actually gives me more experience to my weapon. So, for instance, a shot difficulty of 10, which I have done, you get an achievement for it. A shot difficulty of 10 is going to give you a lot more experience than, say, a shot difficulty of 1, which is what I just did, where the guy was point blank. And then headshots, of course, do extra damage, and, you know, will give you a little bit extra. I'll be aiming for headshots mostly later on in the line. If you're ever wondering where the enemy is, one choice you can always do, awesome, one choice you can always make is just follow your men. Like, for instance, I have no idea where the enemy is right now, and I can't remember where the overlay button is, otherwise I'd be using that to figure out where the enemy is. I'm just pressing buttons right now, trying to figure that. That's the wrong button. That's, okay, that's the log. While I'm waiting, that's the character screen. No, I don't want to drop that. Pick that back up. We would get it back later on anyways, but okay, well, we won anyways. Let's go bring this guy back. Get their ill-gotten gains. So now we get good stuff. And so now we get everything in their hideout. And this can be good or bad. Sometimes you get good stuff, sometimes you get bad stuff. There are a ton of weapon types, a ton of armor types, and one of the big things about it is that they will have these random, there we go, that's the button I'm looking for. It's control. They'll have these random effects on them. For instance, or not effects. Effects is not the right word I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm good with that. It's not effects that I'm looking for. The word I'm looking for is prefixes, which will change what you get. We're going to go back to Praven. I'm probably going to make these 30-minute episodes because the game takes a while to really show progress. We're going to go ahead and go to the tavern. And here we should find the Merchant of Praven right here. Talk to him. And he gives me about another 200 dinars just for doing that, which is kind of nice. And we got a relationship bonus, which is telling you about relations, which you can see as I hover over his picture here. Now he's asking me what if I could do something else for him. Apparently, he considers one of the sheriffs in town to be fairly corrupt, and he's probably, you know, making the bandits happen more often. He wants me to go ahead and fight. Now, the problem is I might not be able to trust him. You know, I might not be able to, you know, he might be lying to me, and I might have it in bad with the King of Praven, or King of Swadia later on. Or I can say yes, get 100 dinars, and we can go ahead and fight the enemy, which I'm just going to go ahead and do. I will lead his men, and we will go ahead and fight against the corrupt people. So remember, everyone with that blue circle on top there is one of me. Where's my... There's my sword. Okay, so we got a... Not blue circle, but green circle. So we're going to go ahead and look around. We're in a town environment this time. So there's going to be a lot of townies, which can get killed or knocked out. There's nothing really that we can do about it if it does happen. Let's go ahead and kill that guy. Maybe. Now, friendly fire is a thing when it comes to... that guy's dead. Awesome. So let me go ahead and not fire. Friendly fire is a thing when it comes to crossbows and ranged weapons, but not a thing when it comes to melee attacks, which is nice. So I just got to be careful not to shoot into a crowd of my own men. Now, all of my men are just kind of doing their own things here, which is good. It's not making me do too much work here. Merchant of Praven got knocked out, which is important. Named NPCs don't die. They just get knocked out. How am I not hitting that? I am hitting that guy. Okay. I'm doing really badly when it comes to this whole ranged attack thing. I think we just won. Was that it? Yeah, that was it. Okay. So we'll get a little bit of money. I didn't really do much than that. That's fine. You know, apparently 10 of his lads got themselves wounded. I'm glad to see that you're alive, too. Yes. Okay, so he gives me my reward and then kind of sends me on my way, and that's about it. So, now I am kind of on my own. I can do a lot of things. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go join this tournament. There's a lot of good stuff going on. Let's see. Do I want to... 3 teams? Okay, we're going to go ahead and fight the next round. So we're going to go to this tournament, and I'm going to try to build a name for myself as an absolute badass. Going to couch my lance here, and get that guy. So I'm trying to make my name for myself as a badass, so that way various kings will be willing to work with me. I don't know what team I'm on, is the problem. Am I on the red team? So this is a tournament, and the tournaments are really obnoxious, mostly because the computer AI is particularly bad. So what's basically going to happen is right now we're playing jousting. Can I get away from this area? Thank you. We're going to be jousting. So there's them. My girl has a freakishly twisty torso. So we're going to joust, and what's going to happen is if I move fast enough, I get to couch my lance. That's putting that lance down. I still don't know what team I'm on. Oh, I'm on yellow team. Okay. We're going to be able to couch our lances, and if we move fast enough, we'll deal impact damage. See how my lance is lowered now? I didn't do that. This is an automatic thing on the part of the game. They're trying to do it to me, too. So what I have to do is I have to ram some enemy, and hopefully it's going to be this green guy right here, and deal, as you can see, 57 damage. Ow! From couch. Now, notice that I have, like, no health left. So I need to get out of here so that way I don't take any more damage. My health is that bar in the lower right-hand corner, if you couldn't tell. I dealt damage to the horse, which is bad. I need to deal damage to the actual men themselves. Now, if you look on the lower right-hand side of my lance, not my lance that I'm holding, but the lance that you can see. Let's see if I can nail this guy. Done. Just need to not take damage off of this asshole. There we go. Aha! If you look in the lower right-hand corner, there's a little dot next to my lance. It was red, now it's gray. That dot indicates that my lance is ready to be couched. I went ahead and nailed that guy. That's 14 more experience for me, and that was us winning that melee. And now we must go on to the next round. So now we're at a tier 2, 32 participants remaining. We just eliminated half of them. Another 3 teams of 2 fighters each. King Harless is actually in the fight, along with some guy named Kratos. But there's a lot of guys remaining. And then all these are just random nameless people. So we'll go ahead and fight in the next round. I've got really nothing writing on this match, other than, the prestige of winning. Am I blue? I don't know what color I am. Let's see. I must be blue, because there's no other blue guy out there. So we'll go ahead and we'll just couch our lance here. I'm not worried about the guy on foot. I'm worried about the guys on horseback. Now, the faster I move, in comparison to the enemy, the more damage I'm going to do, but the opposite is also true. If I'm not moving at all compared to the enemy, or if I'm moving slower than they are, I'm not going to deal as much damage. So this guy in green is kind of the target I should be going for. But I am blue, so how come I couldn't? The guy on the ground, the only thing he can really do is hope that we ram him, and that he can get his lance to the right spot. Now, while I'm talking about battle mechanics and trying to make a run at this... Oh, this guy actually dealt damage to me. You can deal damage to horses. You can take down the horses if you so choose. That will typically work okay if you want to get the guys on the ground, if you want to just take them out at your leisure. So that's what I just did there. I'm just trying to gradually take out my opponents. That guy in the yellow is just going to chase me for a while. So what you can do is you can try to outmaneuver him. But talking about battle mechanics, look in the lower right-hand corner, you'll see my shield has a little bit of damage to it. That is actually a thing. Shields can be destroyed in this game, which is kind of bad. I'll show you what non-couch damage. You can see I get that negative 44% movement speed bonus. That shows that I'm not getting any damage whatsoever. I'm actually losing damage because I'm not moving at all. But if you look at my shield, you can see how it's damaged. I can take enough damage to my shield to actually lose my shield, which is kind of a problem, so we kind of not want to do that. So I got some couch damage. Let me just shield this. Okay. So yellow team and me are the only ones left. So I'm going to try to go after that horse, the guy on the horse. If I'm actually able to get rid of him, the one on the ground should be simple. Okay, so I got the horse. So now they're both on the ground. And now things are going to be a lot more simple than they were. Deliver 20 damage there. Their shields could be a little bit of trouble, but that's bad. That's bad, 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 bad. Get away, horse. Their shields could be a little bit of trouble, but as long as I can get a good enough running start, I should be fine. And the game will couch my lance automatically for me, so I should be fine there. So it's just a matter of getting a good run on these guys. force received, 0 damage, because these guys, remember, are on foot. So they're not getting the bonus I am. I'm just not quite getting the run-up I need to make this happen. Let's try this again. I'm really bad at lancing to the left-hand side. Okay, there we go. We dealt 21 damage, which is wonderful. Let me see if I can get a run on the right-hand side this time. Got him. Knocked him unconscious. So I'm using a blunt weapon as we near the end of this episode. No, there's, edged weapons and blunted weapons. Edged weapons kill, blunt weapons knock out. So we're using a blunt weapon. Normally, in tournaments, we're only ever going to use blunt weapons, but in normal everyday life, we can use whichever one we want, and depending on which one we use, that will decide if we deal lethal or non-lethal damage, and that'll decide how many prisoners we get. So we typically want to do lethal to get them out of our way, but, if we can do non-lethal damage and actually make it happen, that will give us prisoners, and we can sell prisoners, or ransom them. Ransoming prisoners is also okay. Okay, well, I'm going to go just turn around one more time. Hopefully this will do it, because I'm having a lot of trouble hitting this girl. As you can see, I'm just terrible, terrible ability. Let's go. She's fast as my horse. And looks like a horse. Both of them, That was terrible of me to say. Okay, let's go ahead and turn around here and charge this girl, and hopefully... There we go. Knocked unconscious by me, and we have improved our proficiency in polearms. Okay, so we have 4 teams of 1 fighter each in the next round, but we're going to wait on that for the next episode. I will